A congressional hearing held today online this morning as legislators discuss the ongoing crisis at the Salton Sea. It's the first hearing like this one in 23 years. News Channel 3's Danny Romero has more on what's next now for the sea.
It's been over 2 decades since congressional leaders sat down and discussed the Salton Sea.
This hearing is the first congressional hearing on this issue since 1997. And which means that 23 years ago, Congress sought the need to address the federal role at the sea, and yet today we find ourselves on the verge of a crisis.
That crisis impacting the public and environmental health. This hearing addressed the federal and state efforts needed to restore the sea.
The sea is shrinking. A combination of persistent drought, more efficient irrigation practices, water management obligations, and evaporation from the very shallow surface area of the lake.
And those alarming concerns continue to grow, but not everyone from the administration team joined in.
It's unfortunate that Commissioner Berman and Director Skipworth have declined our invitation so that the public would have been able to hear whether their agencies are meeting their responsibilities and carrying out their work.
On the other hand, local Congressman Raul Ruiz called for an all-hands-on-deck approach.
The federal government owns half of the land at the Salton Sea and has a significant role in managing that land. They cannot sit on the sideline and leave my constituents high and dry while the shoreline disappears in front of their eyes.
But Congressman Tom McClinton rebutted the argument.
One is to continue to spend enormous sums of money to maintain a salt lake where nature doesn't want one. That's money much better spent on watershed and forest management and water development.
California State Water Resources Control Board and the chairman of the Torres Martinez Desert Cahuilla Indians were among those testifying for more aid.
The key here is that it's not incumbent upon any one actor or agency at this point in this space, and it really does require the full cooperation of the federal government, given the historic decisions that went on in 1905 and thereafter.
Danny Romero, News Channel 3.
This hearing was part of phase 1 of their 10-year plan that includes a range of activities of habitat creation and dust management. Members of the committee now have the opportunity to send questions to those who testified in the hearing. The hearing will be open for 10 days to allow for their responses. No second hearing scheduled just yet.